Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 10. So Module 10 is the next step in writing your research paper. In this module, you're just going to be writing a rough draft in order to submit to your instructor and get instructor feedback. And that is the only thing we're doing in this module, so it doesn't feel like we're doing a lot, except that it might take you a while to get that rough draft done. So I would not wait until the last minute. Otherwise, you're going to end up with something that is poorly prepared and won't give you much feedback. The feedback that I can give you is really going to be very general and is not going to be able to give you as much to really work on. So just kind of keep that in mind. So the module itself seems fairly simple. I've got some readings for you, mostly just information. That some of this is review from what we've done before. Some of it may be something new, but basically just kind of keeping track of information and making sure that you're evaluating the sources that you're actually putting in the essay. So this is stuff that we've covered before, but these chapters kind of cover it in a different way. And so hopefully this will just give you something new to think about as you are writing your essay. So definitely review them. Same thing with the citing sources, information. A lot of this is just reminders of what you need to be doing, because I do expect you to start using research in your rough draft because it is a research paper. You do need to have research in it. And so if you turn in a rough draft with no research in it, then you're going to have a lot more to work on between the rough draft and the final draft, as if you, instead of like actually using it while you're writing it. So this is just information, again, review of a lot of the stuff that we've covered already. And then this is the research essay rough draft assignment. So in Module 10, you are submitting your rough draft for instructor feedback. And that is just the sole purpose of this assignment is so that you have something written, you submitted it to me, and I will provide you with some ideas for where to go next. In the next module, you are submitting your rough draft to the online writing lab and to your peers to get peer feedback. And then the module after that is when you'll actually submit the final draft. And so you should, by the time you go through the whole process, have feedback from your instructor, from your peers and the online writing lab, and then from yourself as well, and then be able to really make some good substantial changes to your research essay and submit a good final copy that's been cleaned and edited and everything. So the rough draft at this stage, you need to have at least 5 pages of your essay finished. It's okay if you don't have the full 7 pages yet. We need at least 5 though, and that does not include the works cited page. The works cited page does not count as a page of text. They don't need to be continuous pages. Some students find introductions to be really difficult to write, and so they just start with their first main point, and that's fine if you want to do that. Just put in there that you're skipping something so that I don't make a comment like this is not a good introduction or something, because that's not going to help you. If I'm commenting on something, you can just tell me did not write introduction or introduction pending or something like that. 5 full pages of text. Make sure that you do, if you have an introduction paragraph, that you are giving an overview of the topic and it is not the same introduction that you wrote for the annotated bibliography. Those are 2 different assignments. The introduction for your annotated bibliography will not work for a research paper, so you can't just copy and paste it. Make sure that you get your working thesis in there, because that is, even if you don't write the full introduction, we need a working thesis to kind of see where you're planning on going with it. And this may be the same as from your outline. So you can go back and look at your outline, the feedback that I've left on your outline, and see if that helps you any with the organization of your essay, but also in the wording of your thesis. You may need to make some changes. Body paragraphs then obviously expand on the thesis, and then you'll have lots of examples and details from your sources. Yes, you use your sources a lot. So students feel like they're not really writing their own essay because they're referencing so many sources. And if you feel like that, then you're probably doing it correctly. This is what a research paper is. It is all stuff that you have found. You are in control of the information that you're giving to the reader. You're also in control of how they get that information and how it's described to them. But otherwise, you're not really other than the thesis, you're not really coming up with brand new things. It's all stuff that you have found, and you're controlling how it goes into the essay, and how we view it. So, and how that connects to the thesis. So a lot of the connections, the topic sentences, all of that will be your own writing. The transitions are your own writing. Everything else is going to feel like it comes from a source. And then, of course, you want to make sure that your rough draft has a works cited page. We always have a works cited page anytime you use sources. Even if you're at the rough draft stage, make sure that if you put the source in your essay, it goes on the works cited page, and keep going like that. Even if you don't, I mean, you have your annotated bibliography done, so you can just go copy and paste those citations from there. It's not that hard. But some students, like if they find a new source, they may not have a works cited entry done for it yet, and you may be back to copying URLs or something. So, and that's fine as long as you are keeping track of the sources that you reference in your rough draft. Obviously, you're not being graded on correct grammar and spelling. This is mainly just a did you do it or not kind of assignment, as long as you have a completed draft, as in where you're working thesis, body paragraphs, use of sources, that kind of thing, then you'll get your full points for this assignment. So that is the step that we're at right now. Like I said, we're going to be continuing with getting some peer and online writing lab feedback before you even consider finishing up a final draft and submitting that. So we're still kind of in the middle of the research paper process. If you have any questions at all, or if you have questions about the feedback I left on your outline, make sure that once you get your feedback on your outline, make sure that you send me an email, because I can always provide more feedback if you need it, but I don't always know what students are going to want that kind of extra step or extra level of feedback. So just let me know through email. Otherwise, have a great week.